And a lot of the time, for example, was for me when I was younger, not so much anymore, but it kind of still does happen. It was mainly like job interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
It kind of is fear of the unknown, because obviously you don't know how the interview is going to go.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what the boss is going to be like. You don't know if you're going to get the job or not. It's kind of, when it's in that situation where something can go several different ways, and you kind of just feel like constricted, you feel kind of like lost almost, and that's when the anxiety would set in for me. And not so much anymore.
Does that anxiety come from being like not confident in your own abilities? Like, especially in a job interview where you might not feel like you're good enough for the job. Is that where it comes from? Or?
Almost. Maybe it was that when I was younger, but I've gained a hell of a lot of confidence over the years with a lot of things. I don't really, like, that's not an issue I deal with as much anymore. It's weird because for me, always, every single time in for example, the situation I'm talking about right now, as soon as I would get to the location and sit down or talk to whoever or whatever like that, as soon as I did that, that feeling in the stomach is gone. Yeah. Like instantly, just done. And the confidence that I do naturally have, the confidence that I've gained, does show and it does come out. And I've noticed that, and it's stupid because it's kind of that situation where it's like, well, why did I bother worrying about that? Like we've talked about it in the past, like why bother worrying about it when you know it's going to be all right in the end and things like that.
And like most of the things that you worry about never actually come true.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's the imagination.
Like life very rarely lives up to your anxieties.
Yeah, exactly.
Life very rarely lives up to your anxieties.
Your mind is picturing the worst case scenario most of the time. So
I think Les Brown had a really good story about this. He says there was a man who was captured behind the enemy lines in the. Have you heard this one? He was captured behind the enemy lines in the war, and he was sentenced to be killed, or he was given another option. And the captain said to the man, he says, look, you have two choices. Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock you can be shot by the firing squad, or you can go out that door over there. And the guy says, well, what's behind the door? What's behind the door? And he says, no one knows. All I can tell you is unknown horrors. Yeah. And the guy thinks, and the next morning he chooses the firing squad. And after he's killed, the captain's secretary says to the captain, he says, what's actually out that door? And he says, that's the door to freedom. He says, but no one ever chooses it because it's unknown. Exactly. They have the crippling feeling of fear or anxiety. Because why do we choose known hells to unknown heavens? And it's basically a fear of change and a fear of the unknown, which is basically where my anxiety came from. I didn't know how people would react to me. That was my biggest phobia, is what people thought of us. So if I knew what I thought of myself, I'd have no problem interacting with people, because then I know how they're going to react because I know me. But I didn't know me. Didn't know what I was like. You didn't have that in yourself. It's like that inner confidence that comes out when you fight through anxieties. I mean, there's loads of people that I know like have panic attacks and what have you when they're out and about and stuff like that. But do you think there's actually a way to get past that? Panic attacks and things like that, like deep anxiety issues? I mean, everyone can approach it in different ways. There's loads of things you can read online, research, there's loads of books you can read that will tell you to approach these things in different ways. So I'm not going to kind of say what I think these people should do, because I've never really been in that exact situation before. But I do believe that it's something that you can slowly overcome, kind of by following a certain kind of like schedule. Not always fully overcome, but like ease, to an extent. Like I don't throw up anymore in clubs. Like that period lasted maybe 6-7 months. And afterwards it's like, it's fine. Like I know what to expect now. But although it's not healthy to put my body through that, you had to go through it. You had to go through it. Like I had to get there. Like otherwise I'd still be sitting at home doing nothing on a Friday, Saturday night, you know. Relating back to the unknown, I think the common person, every normal day person like us, one of the fears that we have, kind of anxiety of the unknown, is like, for example, like job security. So someone might be in a job that is like secure, because most jobs aren't secure these days, but it's bringing in a steady income, etc. They're living pretty fine, kind of getting along, but they have like other things that they want to do, or businesses that they want to start, or kind of ventures like that. And a lot of the times what stops people from doing this is the fear of the unknown, because they are scared to take that step to do these things, because they're scared that it's not going to work out. It could go this way, it could go that way, could lose all the money, could lose that. And it's, for the most part, it's always the negative thoughts that stop them. They never actually think, what if it does work out? I could actually be happy, I can actually have this, I can actually have that. Or they do think what happens if it works out, but they think, what happens if it works out and I can't handle it? It's a fear of success even.
Yeah, that's what a lot of musicians deal with.
It's like they fear, what if I make it big?
Yeah.
How am I going to handle the fame? How am I going to handle this? Like they don't, it's such a big thing to try and take in at once. Yeah. But I mean, you only have two choices. Like I remember a speech Jim Carrey did where he talked about his dad, and he says, my dad could have been a famous comedian. Yeah. He says, but he didn't believe that it was for him. Mm-hmm. He didn't have faith in himself. So he took a safe job as an accountant. Mm-hmm. And he says, when I was age 12, my father was let go of that job, that safe job as an accountant.
Mm-hmm. That's safe job.
That's safe job. And he says, there's no such thing as security, job security anymore. He says, I learned many things from my dad, but the biggest thing I learned was that you can fail in doing what you don't want. Yeah. So you might as well take a chance doing what you do want. Yeah. And I think I mentioned that in another video as well. Yeah. But again, it's like you should take a chance on these things, regardless of your anxieties. Like, where's your other choice? Mm-hmm. Where's your other choice? Like, you can either sit home and panic about stuff, or maybe you could just try. Yeah. Maybe you could trick your mind for like 5 minutes and just try. Yeah. Like,
now kind of trick your mind for 5 minutes, commit to something, and then you can't go back on it, and you just have to deal with it and make sure that you get through it. And then 100% guaranteed every single time, once you've made it through, you're going to be a much better, stronger person on the other end. So
you can't let anxieties ruin your life though.
Like, or control them.
Exactly. Like you have to control, like the thoughts video that we did, the controlling the thoughts. You have to get it right.
All the stuff that we've been talking about kind of ties in together.
Exactly.
Like it's one and the same kind of a lot of the time, but it's all a piece to being a stronger and better person and achieving what you want to achieve and being passionate and enjoying life and being happy. So
to round off, maybe then we should say that we should, as a yes or no answer, do you push into anxieties? Yes or no? Do you push into anxieties?
I would personally, from my own experience, my own perspective, personally, the only way to overcome them for me is to go head first into them.
Exactly. So there was a time when I couldn't talk to people in a club, random strangers. Mm-hmm. I couldn't go out dressed elaborately in a big red leather jacket or whatever. I couldn't do that because people would be watching us.
There was a time where I couldn't film outside like this because of anxiety.
And there was a time when you couldn't get on stage as a musician and play.
Exactly.
But both of us, through pushing through me puking up every time I went out on a night out, and from you pushing through the anxiety of getting on stage, how better are our lives from doing that?
Yeah, exactly. We're much happier, much more confident. There's less stress involved, less anxiety.
We didn't know how it would work out for us.
Yeah.
When you have 3 albums out now.
Exactly.
We didn't know that's how it would work out, but it did. I didn't know how writing would do, but everyone says they love my writing. Yeah. Like maybe that's where my skill set is writing,
your strength.
But you don't know. Like I was scared to put stuff out. Yeah. Because I didn't know how people would react.
Before any of this, you were kind of skeptical about it. Yeah.
Taught me into it for about 3 months. Like, we should do this thing. We should get a camera and film this stuff. But again,
now we're here.
Exactly.
We've done it. Exactly. And we've done it continuously, and that's the good part. And that's it's improved both of our lives essentially.
Exactly. So. Push through anxieties, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.